What's going on, fellas? Player with a passport. Y'all seen the title. Let's jump right into it. When I was contracting in North Dakota, my schedule was 2 weeks on, 1 week off. If you decided to stay an extra 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you'd always get your time off. So that's usually what I did. I would work 6 weeks, take 2 weeks off, 8 weeks, take 2 weeks off. Sometimes I might work 12 weeks, then take 2 weeks off, or 2.5 weeks, or 3 weeks, just depending on how work was going, how I was feeling, and what I was trying to do. This time, I believe took an 8-week rotation, and I decided to take 2.5 weeks off, back down to Bogota. Now, I fly into Fort Lauderdale Airport. And if you know anything about the Fort Lauderdale Airport, those international terminals can get crazy. And I mean crazy, meaning you're going to see those flights taking off going to the DR, Brazil, Colombia, etc., etc. So you're going to start seeing these exotic looking women, right? You're going to start seeing these Brazilian women. You're going to start seeing these Latinas. Every shape, every size, they're going to be decked down, man. They're going to be decked down looking oh so good. So when you get in that terminal, man, you're going to start getting a glimpse. If you've never been out the country before, when you get in that terminal, you're going to start getting a glimpse like, oh, shit. Looking around like, boom, kind of seeing what's to come. At this point, I am at the terminal. Now you've got your charging stations where you can charge your phone, your iPads, computers, things of that sort. You've got like little baby restaurants in there. You got some little minor shopping. You got your duty free. At this time, I'm at the charging station because I got to charge my phone. My phone is low. So I'm at the charging station. So as I'm charging my phone, I'm looking up and I'm just like, God damn, man, they everywhere. Like you can't look and not see nothing that's top notch. Like it's not happening. So I'm on my phone, I look up. Damn. I see this badass chick, man. I'm talking this badass woman. She got on all white jeans. She's got on some little pumps, white shirt, her little purse. I mean, she's decked out. She is decked out. I mean, the kind, like she's on that level. She's on that level. A lot of guys, man, they don't really know how to hunt, right? So the quality that they get, it's not good quality. But you can tell by looking at this woman right here, yeah, that's player with a passport quality right there. Anyway, so I see her, I'm like, oh my God. Next thing you know, a seat opens up at the charging station, not at my charging station, but the charging station like right next to me, right? So I'm just kind of peeping her out, like, damn, man, she bad, And pretty much everybody that is in that vicinity is kind of, they've caught a glimpse of her or they looked at her and, dudes are making eye contact like, dudes are doing the eye contact thing, man, and it's going down, right? But, it's just another woman in the terminal. Nothing special, just that she's bad. This point, they start calling people up by sections, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. I think I was probably in zone 2 at the time. But to be honest with you, I don't know what zone I was in, but I know that my zone got called. So I get up there, I'm in line, I'm waiting. As I turn around and look behind me, who is it? This old girl. So I'm like, damn, I'm pretty good on picking up on things, So I'm piecing it all together in my head like damn, man, out of all these people, she could have stood next to you. She came and stood next to your boy. So I'm standing in line. She behind me. I turn around and look, and she's got like her game face on, like, so I play it off, like, I looked, but I played it off. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to peep the temperature. You know, I was trying to check the temperature on it real quick. And I'm like, okay. You know, even though she's bad. Now, we waiting in this line for a while now. To the point where you start getting a little agitated. So, all of a sudden, she makes a comment. Oh my God, it's taking forever. You know? But she's saying it in that strong Colombian accent, man. You know, so I'm like, okay. Boom. I said, yeah, you know, you ain't lying. This is ridiculous, you know, something like that, you know. And she's like, seriously? I mean, we've been standing here for for this amount of time, and, you know, why do they have us come up here so early if you're not going to get us on the plane, this and the third? So, boom, now I'm starting to bounce off of her conversation-wise. Come to find out, as we're talking, she was in town visiting family, but she lives in Bogota. So I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, you know, what about you? I'm like, well, you know, I'm a contractor. I work up north, and I'm going on vacation. And I pretty much do this throughout all of my rotations. I work so many weeks on, and I take so many weeks off. You always go to Colombia? I said, yeah, always go to Colombia. I've been to some other places, but, you know, just fell in love with Colombia. And she's like, oh, you really love Colombia. You know, she starts opening up, showing her personality. I'm like, yeah, you know, good people, good food, good energy. She's like, what about the woman? You know, the woman's beautiful. Colombian woman, we're beautiful. So I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, attractive. She's like, attractive? I'm not beautiful? Look at me. I'm not beautiful? And so I'm like, oh, dang, okay, old girl. She know what she got. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she got. And I'm like, listen, you're very beautiful. You know, she's like, okay, it's okay to say it. We know we're beautiful. So I'm like, man, you know, I like you. You know, I like your style. She's like, oh, thank you. You know, she introduced herself. I don't remember her name, but she introduces herself. I introduce myself. At this point, the line starts moving. We get on the plane. Excuse me, fellas, I'm kind of sick. But we get on the plane. We going through the plane, you know, and as we walking through the plane or whatever, she's like, God, I hope I don't have to deal with anybody sitting in my seat. You know how people always want to sit in your seat? I'm like, yeah, I understand. You know, so her seat comes up. She's about 2 rows ahead of me, and I'm like, well, you know, have a safe flight. You know, and enjoy yourselves. Oh, you too. I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm like, yeah, cool, definitely. But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to throw a line in the water. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to throw a line in the water. Come to find out, I'm about 2 rows ahead of her, right? We're both on the end. I'm here. She's literally not this row, but the very next row, right? So as I get situated, I sit down, you know, making sure I have everything kind of in the aisle like this. And I look up and she turns around and I'm like, girl, don't you be waving at me now. Don't you do that. Right? Anyway, you know, get on the plane, man. About 3.5 hours later, we finally land in Bogota. We're getting off the plane, get my stuff, she gets her stuff. We going through all the necessary things we have to go through, get our bags. We finally get to the immigration line. Now, at this point, I'm not really like checking for her or even paying attention. You know, I'm just trying to get gone because you guys know how those immigration lines be, man. They so damn long, and it seems like they take forever. You know, if you're in that line for an hour, man, that's a blessing. So, in this immigration line, look up who's in front of me. Old girl, right? So, boom. All right, you know, I'm peeping out the scene. I gotta go in. I gotta do my thing, right? Chopping it up with her, talking. As we're talking, that line is moving. Now, as that line is starting to move, you know, people, you gotta pick up your bags, go forward, this, that, and third, put your bag down, okay, pay attention to the line, da-da-da-da. She and I, we're talking, you know, all of a sudden the line's moving, and she's like, oh my God, let me get my bag. Next thing I know, this dude, like, he come out of nowhere on some, I'll get your bag for you. And she's like, oh, thank you. I turn around, it's this tall white dude. So I'm like, are you cock blocking? Like, what? Where you come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you come from? You know, like, he literally came out of nowhere. He wasn't part of the conversation. He wasn't, I don't even know where he came from. But all I know is that he's like, oh, I can help you get your bag, you know, so we can get moving, you know. I'm just like, man, this dude, man. Because we get up there, just so happen, this dude happens to be behind me. So he helps her with her bag. The line moves. We're moving. As he puts her bag down, now he's starting to, you know, have conversation with her. You know? He's starting to have conversation with her, right? And so I'm just kind of in my head, I'm like, dude, like this is an obvious cock block. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just like a blatant cock block going on right now. So I'm like, man, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're chopping it up, you know, and then like she's chopping it up with me. So it turned into like a group conversation, which initially started with she and I. Now it's a group conversation. He's talking, he's some kind of IT tech online, this, that, and the third. We finally get to immigration and, you know, get the stamp, this, that, and the third. And she's like, well, you know, I hope you enjoy your trip. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm going to see you soon out here, you know. She's like, oh, yeah? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I need to stop at the duty free. I'm going to get me a bottle of liquor, some Johnny Walker. She's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll come past there. I'm like, cool, right? In my head, the plan is once she get to the duty free, boom, I'm gonna go ahead and hit her with the, hey, listen, let's exchange some information, let's keep in contact, whoop, whoop, whoop. Make it a done deal. Go ahead and shoot the shot, you know. And that's one thing. A lot of guys, man, when they come out the country, specifically when they come to Colombia, they're afraid to shoot their shot. Afraid to shoot your shot because you don't know the language. You don't know the places, you don't know where you're at, so guys get timid, man, and they get afraid to shoot their shot. Fellas, you gotta shoot that shot. Anyway, I finally get to the duty free. Boom, I get my Johnny Walker. I'm at the cash register. She's walking up, right? So as she's walking up, she's like, hey. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh, you got your Johnny Walker? I'm like, yeah. Guess who comes out of nowhere like fucking Superman? The white dude. So I'm just like, man, where this dude showing up from, man? He comes out, hey man, you getting some liquor too? Man, I got some liquor too, man. You know, and I got me some tequila also. Da-da-da. She's like, wow, you got a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh yeah, you know, when I party, you know, I love to party. You know, so when I party, I definitely like to have, you know, different variety of things. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's doing all this, right? Now, as we all kind of talking, you know, I'm trying to just like back off. Let me go ahead and do this real quick, and then, you know, we can talk afterward. But let me go ahead and get this off. So I'm kind of, it's like the conversation has gone from she and I again to a group conversation again. As we're talking, old girl at your cash register, like, hey, I need your passport. So boom, I gotta get my passport. There you go. Oh, I need you to boom, you know, sign and write your number. This and that. I'm like, okay, you know, where are you staying? You know, like they need all this shit to duty free. It's ridiculous. So I'm doing this, and so I'm like, yeah, man, you know, just kind of talking, kind of with them, but not with them. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, are you two together? I'm like, already seen what was coming. In my head, I'm like, yo, this dude's setting to make his move. He's setting to make his move, right? And so I'm like, nah, man, you know, we just met on the plane, you know, but she's good people. Yeah, man, totally, man. Like, she's super cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes. I'm just like, man, not only are you stepping on my toes, bruh, you tap dancing, you break dancing all over my shit, man. You move on, you know what I'm saying? And so she's like, yeah, we just met on the plane. He's an awesome guy. He's like, well, yeah. The reason why I'm asking is because, I don't know if you're dating anyone, but if you would like to, I live here in Bogota, in Chapinero. She's like, oh, you live in Chapinero? He's like, yeah, I got an apartment out there in Chapinero. And, I'm going to be here for at least 4 months. So, maybe we can exchange information and, we can hang out sometime, kind of, do some sightseeing or something. I like to do, what do they call that? The parasailing thing. We can go catch a flight up to so-and-so and we can do that, kind of hang out, if you're interested. If you're not interested, And so she's like, now she's all like, Googie eye and shit. And he's like, yeah, man, I noticed how beautiful you were, but I didn't want to say anything because I thought that you guys were together. But, since now you're not together, I feel more comfortable. So, if you like, bottom line, she ends up exchanging the phone number. And so I'm sitting back like, man, where the hell did this Superman dude come from? And the thing about it, like, he wasn't a jerk about it, like, he wasn't a jerk about it. He wasn't a dick. Like, he was a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He just had a genuine good vibe and good energy, But the process, I'm just looking at this shit from a different point of view, Because black men and Latinos, we consider ourselves, the Daddy Macs and the Mac Daddies. Can't no one do it better. Finally leave the duty free, get out the airport, waiting out on the curb. She's out there, so she kind of waves like, hey, it was nice talking to you. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I'm kind of, my pride hurting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My pride's hurting a little bit because I'm like, damn, dude, I ain't this dude, man, I look over again. He comes back. This dude shows up again out of nowhere. Offers her a ride in his Uber. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. Like, man, this is ridiculous, man. She's like, oh, really? Sure. He's like, yeah, let me get your bag for you. Hey, man, take care, man. It was great meeting you, this, that, and the third, right? And so they drive off, and I'm just looking like, these white boys, don't underestimate these white boys, man. They playing for keeps. They playing for keeps.